Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the FDU Women's Soccer Report on FDUnites.com. Jon Lauder, along with the head coach of the FDU Women's Soccer team, Eric Teepe. Coach, how are things?
Doing good, and yourself?
Doing just fine. Let's go back to the last home game. A tough loss against Monmouth, 2-0. Just your thoughts on that game and maybe why the result didn't go the way you guys wanted.
Well, I mean, I think, obviously it's an upgrade in the type of competition that we're facing, and it's what we wanted to do for our program. I mean, Monmouth was a team that made the tournament last year, basically went 18-2. They have the ability to do that again this year, so I think for us it raises our game a little bit. And I don't think we did, I know we didn't get the result, but I don't think it was a poor game for us. I think we just learned a little bit about what it's going to take to score against a team like that, and what happens when we make little mistakes in the back and in the midfield. And I think that was a good thing for our team to see, because we gave the ball away silly a couple times and they pounced on it.
Was there anything specific defensively that Monmouth did, or you just think the team just maybe wasn't gelling the way they normally do?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of things. I mean, obviously we do have some injuries, but you never want injuries to be an excuse. I mean, I think injuries allow us to have other players step up to the plate, and I know we have players that can do it. I know they did a little bit more pressing of us, and I think at first we didn't adjust to that, but I think as the game wore on, we did a much better job of doing that. And, it wasn't like it was void of chances for us. I mean, we did have some chances, and if we found a way to tie one up at halftime, I think we would have been much better going forward.
Now, obviously, you've had a very tough out-of-conference slate. You start 4-1, you've lost 2 in a row. Is that just the way this out-of-conference slate was always going to go? You were going to run into some tough teams, and maybe some losses would come with that? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, every time you step on the field, you want to win the game. I mean, you don't ever want to lose, but at the same time, I think you learn a lot about your team when you put them in situations that is questions what they do on the field. And I think because of that, sometimes you're going to have wins and losses, and we're okay with that as long as we learn from it. And I think if we can keep learning from it, hopefully by the time we get to conference, now we really know what we are.
Now, in the first 3, 4, 5 games of the season, goals were not a problem. That guys were scoring just fine. Last couple of games, just 1 goal combined. Looking at the tape of the 2 games, what have you noticed that maybe has been an issue with the goals not coming?
Well, I think Columbia and Monmouth were 2 different type of games. I think Monmouth, we still created all the chances. We just hitting them in the back of the net. Sometimes that's being a little bit unlucky. Sometimes it's not being as clinical as you can be in front of the net. So I felt we still had all the chances in that game, where when we went to the Monmouth game, chances were the game was really a midfield game. We had a couple of injuries, so we changed our formation, which then they changed their formation. So I think we went from where we were getting 16 to 20 shots a game to where we only had 7 or 8. But at the same time, Monmouth only had 7 or 8, so it became a defensive struggle. So I still think we will find the goals as the games occur, but there's going to be some games where we're going to have to, grind it out for a result, and maybe win a game in overtime or win a game 1-0, as opposed to we're putting 3 or 4 on the board.
So the team gets a week off. Next game is at home this upcoming Friday, 7 o'clock against Vermont. What do you expect to see from the Catamounts?
Listen, I mean, obviously I know them well from my time at Stony Brook, and they're a very gritty team. They challenge you up and down the field. They don't let up. I mean, they've already shown this year. They came back from 2 two-goal games, one that they won and one that they lost in overtime. So they have the ability to play for a full 90 minutes. And again, I think it's a great test for us, because it's going to be a challenge throughout. I expect us to play a little bit better than we did against Monmouth, and hopefully we can find a couple more chances and we can find a way to get back on the winning ways.
And you have a couple more games left before the out-of-conference slate, so you're sort of wrapping up that out-of-conference play. What's the biggest thing you want to see from the team, going into conference play?
Well, I mean, obviously, as I said before, you always want to get the wins. But at the same time, I think we're looking at it where, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We want to keep getting better as a team. And if we can see little things in our game that are going to make us better once conference starts, I think that's much better for us. And that's what we're going to be looking to do.
Coach, good luck and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so please make sure to come out 7 o'clock this Friday night, University Stadium, as the FDU women's soccer team takes on Vermont. If you can't come out, please watch on necfrontrow.com. And as always, please visit FDUnites.com for the latest and most up-to-date information on the FDU women's soccer team.